behind the scenes haps, people. Very cool that we're getting here in our little broadcast booth. So I wanted to pay a couple of bills here first this evening because, bills need to be paid. It costs money to do this program. So the first thing you can do is you can jump up into the awards if you want and give us some awards to us if we're doing a good job. You can also sponsor me at my profile page, which is easily searchable here, but you can also go to haps.tv /at RevMacLive. And finally, go to scoochcase.com. These guys are our sponsor, and go to scoochcase.com, buy their cases, let them know, because this isn't like some one of those little deals that everybody can do. If you sign up and somebody buys something, you get 50 cents or whatever. These guys are legit sponsors, and I threw it together pretty quickly, so we didn't have a lot of time to set this up. But send them an email after you buy it and tell them you bought it because of this show. The cool thing about these cases is it's got this little lever here, so you can have the case rest in your finger, stand it up, put it on its side. It's really cool. So I love the folks at Scooch, and so support me by supporting Scooch. Or, if you want to give me a bunch of money to produce our Saturday show, the show which is probably why Darian and I met. It was Clubhouse, but Amr here, who's coming in right now, is got to be connected to that whole Darian thing, is how I met people. So how you doing, man?
Hello. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Where are you at? Are you in New York?
I'm based between New York and LA, and really anywhere that I would get a chance to audition. But right at this moment, I'm in Miami. But
you're in nice.
I'm countrywide, really.
Yeah, anytime you can be in Miami is probably a good time, right?
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know. You look like you're probably under 30. I'm guessing you could be 50. I mean, you're from Egypt, so you never know. The pharaohs might have instilled some magic there, and so you never know. You, like I said, you're a handsome young dude in Miami, and you gave me the time to be on my show. I like it, because seriously, I'd be on a boat with a lot of people of my preferred preference, whatever that might be, to be in Miami. So, what are you doing down in Miami? Specifically?
Well, honestly, here's the thing, right? With auditions now, right, that more and more auditions are coming up. It's all virtual. So,
sure.
Yeah, why would it's all through self-tape, and then even the callbacks or Zoom callbacks. So I'm like, what's the point of, me staying in New York, paying, let's say, $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment, or really a decent 1-bedroom can cost you.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't I pay the same amount of money and just have a bigger space,
a mansion,
amenities and with just the Miami vibe. So I'm like, that's why I'm camped out here for a while. But
sweet.
Yeah, once I get something that requires me to be anywhere, I'll fly out there the same day or the next day.
Well, that's cool, actually. And, we kind of just jumped right into it, which is what I tend to do. But you're an actor, and we have a connection through Darian Danjou and his 1-minute film school. And we're going to show the 1-minute film you were in. And Apple, that's her film, right? That's her submission. Is that right? Yeah.
Story, if I can share really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I always, I was in med school, right? I was in med school back in Egypt, and I quit med school and I came here by myself at 18 years old, which is crazy, really, to all the Egyptians. They were like, how are you doing? This is unheard of. Even when I was withdrawing my papers from college, they were like, wait, what do you want to do?
Go to America and
just give me my stuff. And my idea at the time is that I was going to come here and study. But then when I came here, it was like I was exposed to the land of opportunity. It's like you don't have school to be successful. And I was working in a retail store just to pay rent and stuff like that while I was applying to different colleges. And someone walked in. He was a dentist, and he was like, "Hey, you're in shape. Are you a trainer?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And you know what? I'm gonna start training this guy. I'm gonna do all the certs and all that, and become a
Hmm.
certified trainer and run my own business. I started charging like $30 per session, and now I charge $140 per session. So
Sweet.
it starts, yeah, it starts somewhere, and then you keep going with it. And you just, I started working in a deli for $6 an hour when I first came here, and then it became $8 an hour at the retail store, and then $30. But mind you, it was one client a day, so I had to take steps backwards in order to make more steps forward and be on my own time. And right now, when COVID hit, it was horrible for me because
Yeah.
person, but I also took the opportunity to explore online training and virtual training, and now that's all I do. I have clients in Canada, in Australia, and the Philippines.
Oh, interesting. That's
Yeah.
that's really interesting. Hang on one second. I want to say hello to hello. Wow. Maybe I had a little too much smoke there. Hi to Sabrina from Phoenix, and hey Nazim in Milan. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So, what got you then from there, all of that to acting?
So yeah, the acting, right? I never really knew. Like I was a soccer player back in Egypt, so I was signed by a big team in Egypt when I was 14 years old. But then I kind of bumped my knee, and it just became an injury. So I kind of like threw that dream away, and then it became med school. And then when I came here, I was pursuing that, like I said, and then I built up a social media following. When I started doing personal training, I was like, okay, I'm going to use the social media as marketing for my training. And I would start, posting, pictures of me training, videos and stuff like that, filming my clients, stuff like that. And then like the my social media grew to about 30,000 followers. That was pre-pandemic. Now I have around 140 something. But
Oh, nice.
pre-pandemic, yeah, and I posted something, a training. I was doing some push-ups, and then I got up and I was like dancing, and my friend was continued recording me. So I was like, okay, we're doing this, I guess. And then it was a song by Jay-Z, Monster. So I know all the lyrics to the song, so I was just rapping and just just being me on camera. And some talent manager saw it, and he was like, hey, are you interested in acting? You have really good presence on camera, very good, you're very charismatic, you have a really good look. Have you ever considered acting? And I was like, yeah, why not? And that's how it started. At first I was horrible. I wasn't taking any classes. I thought acting was just being you know uh, good looking, in shape, whatever, and you're gonna
Depends on
do
the
it.
movie.
I realize that it's not the case. Training, training, training.
Hmm.
Every actor that comes to me now for advice, I'm like, don't worry about anything. Just have your training, so when you get the opportunity, you're ready. You have the tools. And training never stops. Just because, I booked my first co-star right before COVID. I got pinned with Edie Falco on her show Tommy that got canceled as a guest star. I auditioned for this huge series regular that just aired in Ramadan. It's an Egyptian American show called Labit Newton, and in translation is Newton's Game. Um, I was going to be a series regular. I got the audition. I sent my tape. I flew out to LA for the callback. Spent 30 minutes with the assistant director doing it multiple different ways. They said, from the moment you came in to now, you improved a lot, and I see what I want right now, which is great because I approach it from the point of, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be Egyptian. So Egyptians talk like this, yo, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. So it's like they kind of like go like that with their mouth, and kind of like, okay, I'm gonna say a phrase in Egyptian, two different ways, right? معلم عامل إيه, right? And then معلم عامل إيه. So there's two different ways of talking, right? He wanted the second way. I had no idea. I went in and I had all my lines memorized, and it was a series regular, so it was like heavy, heavy lines. But throughout the whole flight, I had them, in my head, just on repeat. So I went in super ready to do it a certain way. But then, boom, they surprise you. No, it's this way. And I'm like, oh my God. So you had to like kind of like change it. You're not talking from here. You're talking more from your stomach. A lot of different things that we changed in the audition rooms. But anyways, after 7 days of deliberation, they didn't get back to me until the last, after 7 days saying, hey, it was almost like an apology email, which I never got from a casting director before. A casting directors, they email your reps, but there was a very intimate connection from the start. So they just sent me an apology email saying, hey, we loved you. We loved everything you did. The director, absolutely loved you. It was between you and this other guy, but he just fits the role better. And that's nothing on you. I'm telling you, it was an apology email.
That's pretty cool.
From a casting director. They were like, but we'll keep you in mind for future roles, which was great. So that's how I kind of like started acting. It was through Instagram, really.
But that's interesting because I think of I've been wondering a lot about doing some various shows around Instagram and some of the things that actually can come from it for people, because it's interesting when you see like a big Instagram star, but then they have a small presence on TikTok or vice versa, and so like who are the people that kind of span all of them, you know what I mean? And just lots of little different interesting slices. So you actually parlayed Instagram into even something else, which is the acting. So that's pretty cool, because like I said, I think social currency, which is what we're talking about here at this point, is something that is going to be huge in the future. So Nazim says, how long have you been living in the USA and how old are you? That's Nazim in the chat.
Hi, Nazim. Hello, everybody. I moved here when I was 18, just turned 18, and I'm now 26, so 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years as a New Yorker. New York is my place, man. I
love New York.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's the air smells different. The vibe is different. People are different.
Yeah.
We're straight up. We're in your face. We tell it how it is. We don't bullshit. LA, Miami, anywhere else, it's kind of like people are nice, but they're not, But I'm not generalizing, of course. But the vibe I get from anywhere other than New York is that people are just, everybody's going to look out for themselves, right? But you don't have to kind of like kiss ass, right? I feel like New York, it's kind of like, I'm going to tell it straight up and I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what New Yorkers are like, for sure. They don't, the difference, a lot of people think the New Yorkers aren't friendly. It's not that at all. If you start talking to them, you're slowing them down because they're moving at 20 miles per hour faster than anybody else. So if you keep up to them, they're fine. You'll love them. They're great people. But don't stop and ask them a question, like walk with them. Keep moving, because the New Yorker, it never stops. The city never stops. That's why it's like, it's why it's so compelling. I mean, it's just, I love Chicago, where I am, and I've been here for a long time, and it's a great, international city, and we have a vibrant downtown where people live. But I mean, it would all fit in Central Park compared to New York. So, I really love it. And it's really cool that you got a taste for New York. What was, give me some interesting stories coming off the plane from Egypt. Had you been to America before?
I have. I was here
before you visited, or before you moved?
Yeah, I was here when I was 1. My dermatologist, and that's the main reason why I was pursuing being a doctor and going to med school. But then like I said, I just was like, this is my life. I'm not going to live it for my mom. I love my mom, and I'm pretty sure she wants the right thing for me. But just because she wants and kind of thinks it's the right thing for me doesn't mean it is. I know what's right for me foremost. So she's a dermatologist. I was here when I was 1 because she was doing her master's. So I was here with her, and then we went back to Egypt, and that's how I speak English without an accent. I don't have like a little bit of accent in my voice, but but I can put it on if you need me to. But
sure.
So that's why I moved here when I was 1, lived here for a little bit, went back to Egypt, came back here to the U.S. in fourth grade. My parents have been divorced 3 times, so I'm like a trauma child. So, and they
You
got
mean wait? They didn't get remarried 3 times. They've each been remarried 3 times.
no, they got divorced and remarried to each other 3 times.
Sorry, I don't. Probably not funny, but that's kind of funny. Like, wow, we make up our mind?
I know, it's just crazy. And you know what? What we realize, and on another point, what we don't realize as kids, right, is that our parents are real people with real emotions, with real struggles.
Yeah, there you go.
Real, we only realize that once we grow up and we have our own struggles with our partners, right? So it's just like, at the time I was playing soccer and I was really freaking good. I was really good. And I would play with like really older people because I'm really good. They would take me in their team, and that when I got signed with that team, my dad would be so frustrated that he doesn't. When you're so frustrated and you're constantly arguing with your wife, you're not gonna have the mental
Well,
capacity to take.
daily. Oh, she's not listening, is she? Okay. Anyway, keep going.
Let's just block my mom from here and there. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I do see it because my mom's a beautiful person. She's great, but I do see why that would happen. Why he would lose his freaking
Oh,
mind.
I see. You can get like, gotcha. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now that I grew up and I kind of like understood stuff, I do forgive him, and I told him that like, hey, I was a kid. I didn't know. Now I do know. He's like, yeah, that means so much to me that you're saying that to me, and I got kicked out of the house multiple times growing up, and but we made up for it, so it's all good. But wait, I lost track on what
Oh
we were.
yeah, I think that's okay. That's what happens here a lot. But I was going to say, I think I was asking you, or was going to ask you, what? Give me some interesting stories transitioning from Egypt to
Right.
America. But then you told me you'd been here a few times. But what were some of the hardest things to adjust? And really from the perspective of, because you never know who can see this, and of course you can ask different people to see it. But from somebody coming from Egypt to America, like what were maybe some of the interesting or funny things that, or even discomforting things that happened as you were making the transition to becoming a New Yorker versus being an Egyptian?
So I just, I don't know what it is, but once I came here, I felt like I'm home. I felt like I'm home. I didn't feel like I was new. I fit right in. My energy kind of like, coincided with New York's energy. I'm a go-getter. I like to be busy. I like to do stuff. I've been taken advantage of in that as well, that I was doing so much work and not getting anything in return.
Sure.
But learned how to now, with my experience and growing up here, really, I learned how to kind of capitalize on that. How to put in work, yes, work hard, but also be smart about the return on your hard work. So don't work hard for pennies. Be great at what you're at, and then get paid accordingly. But don't slack off. Always be better. Always get better. So that's my mentality here. I mean, I'm gonna tell you really really quick. When I started working at deli, $6 an hour. Left the deli, $26 a day. By the way, that's what I used to make because
And that was living in New York?
I was living in New York, but I was with.
Holy shit.
I know, but you know what? I was happy that I'm making my own money at first.
Of
And I'll
course.
story on how I came here, because that's the trick, right? Because anyone can come here and work as hard, but the problem is get getting out of Egypt with your money. How to get out of Egypt? Like, because my parents weren't supporting me, they were against me going here. Obviously, they
Hmm.
didn't leave med school. But what I had done is when I was 17, I joined this network marketing company, and when I was 17 and 3 quarters, I already had saved up $11,500 in Egypt. So I had that financial freedom to book my ticket here. I
Mm.
booked the ticket, I did everything. Then I told my dad that I'm coming here. Then I told my mom I'm coming here. So it wasn't, and it's nothing to knock them because there again, I just felt like I've been kicked out of the house so many times, and I've been alone so many times, and it was a point where like I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, they're great people, they're amazing, but at the end of the day, I'm in control of my own life,
Yeah,
right?
fair. That's, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
You
glad.
know what? some people never learn that, and their parents always have them under their thumb, and a lot of times, it could be for a myriad of reasons. So that's a oh, thank you, Nazim. He says you're super focused. I admire your intensity and drive. And then he says, great interview at RevMacLive. Happy I woke up and catching this live. So, and Nazim is a expat American in Italy, right, Nazim? I think. Hey, Takara, long time no see. How are you? Good to see you. Hello, Columbus, Ohio. Man, you guys had that beautiful prison. I bet you tore that thing down. That was downtown. Great haunted houses they used to have there. 11,000 and saved at 17 is amazing. It is amazing. And I think, having that drive in New York, that's kind of like, the classic thing. Come to New York and jump right in and be a part of it. And it's one of the few places I think on earth that just about anybody can jump in and, and rise quickly with hard work. It definitely can be done in New York, and it still can be done in America. So you got here, and let's kind of fly forward a little bit to the how did you get connected up with, because the reason that I know you, like I said, is through Darian, and
Right.
then you were an actor on Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
What's her? Go ahead and tell me the story.
So I went on Clubhouse, right? I went on Clubhouse. I knew Darian from before. We met through Apple, actually. Apple is a friend of mine that I met in my Meisner technique class. When I to go back to that, when I first started acting, I was taking these scene study class, cold reading really, and I was like, you know what? There's something more to this, man. I mean, there's something more. There has to be, and I had to figure that out on my own. So I just Googled best acting class in New York. I went to the acting studio. It popped up the acting studio with James Price, and I was like, okay, that's where I'm gonna go. They have these programs, these Meisner technique. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I did. I took Intro to Meisner, then Tech 1 and Tech 2, right, with James Price, and I also took improv at the UCB with Patrick Clare while I was taking that. That's how I got my training, and that's how I met Apple in the acting class. And then
cool. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we kept in touch, and then when she invited me on Clubhouse, by the way, and then she invited me to this room where I met Darian, and then I went to another room on Clubhouse full of casting directors and agents and managers. I was like, hey guys, look, every single audition I get, not every single one, but let's say 3 out of 4, I would get a call back, and I would be so close for it. Like recently I auditioned for The Equalizer with Queen Latifah, 2 different guest stars, and I got a call back right away from my manager. They were like, hey, they saw you, they like what you did with one of the characters, they want to see you bring the same energy to the other character. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? Do they want me to, are there any acting tips? And then he asked, they were like, no, we love everything, just we want him to be a little bit more comfortable with the lines and the character. So I'm like, cool. And I have a habit that this was a 1-day turnaround, by the way, which if any actor is listening, you gotta be always practicing, because it's so hard to memorize 16 pages because it's 2 different guest stars, so it's 8 pages each, right? So it's hard to memorize that within a day. It's crazy. If you're not always practicing and always on your craft, you're gonna find that. So so I memorized that. I did that. I got the callback, and unfortunately I didn't get the part, but just getting a callback is great in itself. Okay, how did I? And then I met. So I went into this Clubhouse room, right? And I was
hang on, because we will know between the two of us, we'll remember where we stopped, and if not, Kizzy will remind us that we stopped at how and where you met Apple. But I want to jump back a little bit there, because I think that's really interesting when you started talking about acting school, picking an acting school, and Meisner, and everything that you were talking about there, because we do have actors that watch. We have actors on, we have other entertainment people on the show a lot. And I think, like, we just met. So you don't know me. I don't know you. I don't know your background, anything, right? But I'm listening to you talk and listening to you kind of progress through everything. And you come to this point where it's like, you've been this way the whole way, but you start to talk about what it takes to be an actor, which is that hardcore dedication. This is what people like, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood and become a star and try and get in a film. Yeah. Go to acting class and more acting class and more acting class and learn how to act. Even if you think you know how to act, even if people have told you how to act, you got to always be learning. You know, you never stop learning to be an actor. I don't think, you know, it's continuous. And I really like that, how you're conveying out there to the folks that, you know, just what level of dedication it takes to even begin to make it out there, right? Because you're not quite getting the call back you want, but you're getting there. You're on the cusp, and you can't let it get you down. You just got to keep pushing forward. And I mean, I feel it in you, man. Like, I feel good stuff coming because you're going to drive your way to it, and that's awesome.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it, and I just I wanted to say that also, just because you're not getting the part means that there's something wrong with you. There's so many factors that go in it. I remind the director of their ex-husband, right? And they just hate their ex-husband.
Get that guy out of here. Jesus, he's sleeping with my wife. That's the guy right there. That's him.
So there's so many factors that are absolutely out of your hands. So if you, and I speak to myself as well, because I do this. I get an audition, and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be the one. I'm so right for it. I'm gonna study so hard. I'm gonna stay up all night. I'm gonna do everything I can, and then I'm gonna sit next to the phone and wait for that call. Did I get it? Did I get it? My life would depend on it. But that's the wrong way to approach it. Why? You're gonna bleed all over your audition in itself that you're desperate. You don't want to be desperate. You want to be of service. Hey, this is me. This is what I have to offer. That's it. And keep that energy. Keep that confident energy, because they want confident people to work with. They don't want desperate people, right? Desperate, it just shows that you're new, that you're green. You want something, right?
How did I'm going to keep slowing this down. I like this. When did you learn that because you just described to me a classic feeling that I've had many a times, you know, doing something and then waiting for the call. Right. So, how did you kind of make that transition? Did somebody else help you along the way and say, hey, this is how you need to do it? Or did you fail a lot? What brought you there?
So here's the thing, right? I always come back to me and my life. Am I happy within my life, within everyday life? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then why would this change you? Yes, it's great that if you get it, yeah, great. But are you happy right now? Yes. Okay, then great. You can be happier, but you're not miserable right now. But if you are miserable right now, then it has nothing to do with acting. You need to reflect on why you're miserable right now and kind of do minor changes in your life so you can be happy within your own life in order to be able to be happier and not just pursue the happiness that you never had. So if you're happy right now, and if you're miserable right now, trust me, a callback or even if you book the role, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be happy for a little bit, but you're going to go back to that.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm looking for Tony Robbins back there, dude. I think you should be I think your next gig is a motivational speaker there.
Trust me. I mean, I really want to.
When you've completed the journey and, you know, got where you've gotten and can take what you've distilled and share it, I think it would be a good thing. I think too, another thing for you to think of, obviously, and I just bet you too. And, but as you learn more too, I think you're really good at communicating stuff to people. You could, you know, probably help people, you know, get into acting or learn to act and stuff like that. Like I said, as you've, 5 years from now, if you've learned a lot, I think you'll be able to share a lot with people because you're picking up a lot about even acting like really fast. And the only reason I know stuff about acting was more or less just being in film school and being kind of somebody that just sucks up all kinds of knowledge. But for not wanting to be an actor since you were 2, because, you know, you meet those people all the time, you know, they've been taking acting classes since they could breathe. Yeah, you've really got it. You've really got it down. It's really cool.
I wish I started that early. Honestly, I would be so seriously. It
All
would
right,
have been.
so Apple. So you met your how did you meet Apple? You met her at class. So
And then, like, yeah, she introduced me to Darian on Clubhouse. And like I said, I went to another Clubhouse room asking, hey guys, so I'm getting these auditions, but they're so far and in between. I'm not
oh
getting
yeah.
auditions. So what can I do? I want to stop pointing fingers at representation. I want to point the finger back at me and find out what I can do to help them get me more auditions. And one of the managers on there, she was like, "Listen, you have to have better." She didn't view my reel. I have a reel, but it's mostly like, I've been on I've been on FBI on CBS as a co-star. That's my first role right before the pandemic. And like I said, mentioned earlier, I was on a roll after that co-star, but the pandemic happened and things slowed down. So I have no hand in that. But so what can I do, right? I have that FBI clip. I have other clips as well that I think are. I don't think they're good. But people see that they're good. But do I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing? No. Do I look at some of my tapes, self tapes, and say, wow, I can't believe I created that? Yes. So I know my acting ability, and
Hmm.
it's not portrayed well in my reel.
Oh, with what you can present.
It,
Sure.
you know why? Because it's a bunch of student films. So just the vibe, and I'm gonna speak about that as well with the scene that we're gonna show today, because I have comments on that as well. So even though I won Best Actor, I have comments on the acting.
Hmm.
So I'm my worst critic, by the way.
That's
So
good.
with the
Well, as long
student,
as you're good to yourself, buy yourself an ice cream once in a while. Be nice to yourself.
yeah, yeah. So with the student films, they're just like they don't capture the moments, and if they do, they don't put it in the film for some reason. The editing is just all over the place, or the audio is off. So, anyways, the real
Well,
is
they're students, right?
yeah. So yeah, and you know what? Some students are really really good, but some are really extremely bad. Everything, their personality, the way they work with you. Obviously, it's non-paid anyways, so at least be nice, or at least be professional.
Yeah, that's treat your actors like crap and they're volunteers. Hey, if I'm paying you $50 million to be in my film, Bruce Willis, I'm going to treat you like crap. Not
I don't
really, but
break the whip. Do whatever you need to do. I'm good. 50 million.
yeah.
No, but yeah. So the advice of the manager was like, hey, why don't you create your own material? Why don't you do that?
Oh,
So
Takara says, I think we all are our own worst critic. Yep, very
yeah,
true, Takara. Go ahead, bud.
So that's what I did. And just as the universe happens, the universe decided to tell Apple, hey, message Amr right after he came out of that clubhouse room. So Apple messaged me saying, hey, Darian has this competition. Do you want to be my actor? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do right now. So I flew back I was here in Miami, and I'm flying to New York like almost every week. If I have, Takara's asking who's Apple. I saw that Apple is the director. She's a director friend, director writer, and we both participate. Do you mind if I answer? By the way,
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
no, you're exactly doing it right. You're exactly doing it right. And we're going to show that little clip in a minute, too. So, no, go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, she's a director writer friend of mine. She's also an actress that she's a friend of Darian, which
She's like a go-getter, too, I think, isn't she? She's always busy.
yeah, she is, and she's amazing. So yeah, we collabed together to do this scene that we're gonna share today, and it was part of like the manager's advice, and she's a very high profile manager. She's great, and she didn't need to do that, and she followed up with me and everything.
Hmm.
And she said, yeah, film your own stuff, film 1 minute, and that's gonna help your representation when they submit you to have that clip, so the casting directors can see like, oh, the clip kind of relates to the role, right? So have multiple 1 minute reels, right? No, 1 minute clips, right? And submit them along with your headshot when it's for a specific thing. So if it's for a doctor or something, then you're playing somewhere along the lines of they can see you in the role, right? And that's like kind of gonna amplify your submission. So that's what I did. I went with Apple and we shot that 1 minute 1 minute thing. I wasn't. It was. Should we play it first, or should I
Yeah,
talk?
yeah, we can roll it. Let's roll it.
Okay.
Hang on a second. All right, here we go.
Hey babe, you wouldn't believe what happened today. The casting director, they fucking love me. They even had me read for another part they were casting for. Oh, I stopped by the store and I got your favorite snack. So I know how much you love it, so. Yeah, this is finally paying off, huh? About time. Yeah, the agent said that we should hear by like tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You should have seen me today, babe. I was on fire. I swear you would have been so proud. I love you, Stacey.
Excellent. All right. I it's a nice. I've seen a lot of the 1 minute films, and to give us the whole, really, in that 1 minute, she's able to tell a pretty big story. I mean, for the backstory from where you came to then, where you end up. We don't know where you have ended up specifically, but she really, that's a nice little, for seeing it for the second time, that's a nice, nice little kind of complete thing. Cause you see a lot of these short films, obviously, and that's a big problem, is trying to make a whole film in 1 minute. So that was excellent.
I personally, again, because I'm my worst critic,
Sure.
I don't love it, right? And why?
Mhm.
Because so we filmed this at my place in New York, and Apple, my mom lives there as well right now, so Apple didn't bring anyone on set, so it was just me and her. We had to do everything. We had to do like the set, design, even though it doesn't look like much, but we couldn't even the blocking, all that. We didn't know where we wanted the camera. It took us hours to
Mhm.
figure it out. And by the time we finished that, we were hungry, so we were eating. It was all over the place in terms of preparation, but there was a time constraint, so we needed to finish it as quickly as possible. But it was just me and her. So me as an actor, having studied Meisner, and I'm more of like method and all that, I can't be fixing stuff on set and acting at the same time, because it just throws me off completely. And another thing is because we were so in a rush, that after we were finished on set, it's like immediately Apple says, "Okay, action." Well, the problem is, it's a very intense scene with emotion
Mhm.
stuff that I need a little bit to prepare, but there's no time because she needs to get home. We need to submit this before midnight because that's the deadline.
You
So,
guys really cut it close.
yeah, it was a preparation wise, and I understand why Apple didn't bring people, because she was like, "Oh, your mom's gonna be here." I was scared, because of COVID and all that. I wanted to keep her safe, and I appreciate that. But I mean, my mom, it's a 3 bedroom, so she was on the other side of the
Mhm.
apartment, so it would have helped tremendously to have people kind of like, reset the set, block, do the whole blocking with Apple, kind of like
Mhm.
stuff. It would have been great, and I wouldn't have had to do it. It's like, and there's another little thing. Like every time I sit on that chair, those pads on the chair would kind of shift. So I would go to reset, and then Apple would be like, "Oh, you forgot the pads." So I'd go reset the pads, and then he's like, "Okay, action." So it's easy. It's like it's so quick that I can't act, right? I don't act. I just be. I'm being. So if you're
Mhm.
switching from, you know, like, adjusting the pillows to being, talking to a dress, obviously Amr is still present. I need to distance myself from Amr and become Jake, which is the character's name, right now, I'm not Amr. I have Amr's body, I have Amr's memories and emotions, but I'm not living right now as Amr. I'm walking this earth as Jake, fully, with the presence and energy of Amr. Therefore, if Amr has just adjusted the pillows, Amr hasn't had enough time to leave. Amr's still here. So Amr sees the empty dress and thinks it's freaking ridiculous to be talking to the dress. You get me? So Amr has to have some time to leave in order for Jake to come in and truthfully speak to the dress. I hope that makes sense.
It does make sense. So you don't feel like, and for no, fault of anybody, you just, one of the things you would have liked was a little more time to not be the gaffer or the best boy or the cinematographer or the, you needed a little time to then be Amr, the actor.
Yeah, I needed time to prepare and needed time to distance myself from, the things that I just did right now, because you just did it, so you can't just get away from it. You need to get into character, kind of like go to the backstory of the character. Where is he coming from? All that stuff, and all that doesn't happen in 2 seconds. It takes some time to get into that mode. And in one of the takes that Apple didn't post, I cried. I did, like, there was a tear of it, but it was over 1 minute, so we couldn't actually do it. Actually, share it with,
because that is a one take, isn't it? It's just a one take.
Yeah. There's no cutting and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was the one take. That was the thing for that one. It had to be in one take, didn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, kind of, in my head, I'm also like, should I cry this take? Should I cry the next take? Which one should I cry? You should never be thinking of that. You should be 100% the character, right? So, yeah, it was just all over the place. And part of me thinking about that is like, I'm doubting it. Should we do it now, or do we have enough time? It was just frustrating. It was extremely, extremely frustrating that day to handle everything on set. And it's not Apple's fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault, like you said. But it's just like this is our first ever time, working together and, on a project like that. And I literally bought the camera a day before. It cost me about $6,000. That camera is the Sony A7S III, but I made that investment because I want to do this more. I want to produce my own stuff. I'm collabing with people from Clubhouse, different actors, artists, directors, writers. We want to come together and do stuff for our reels, and stuff that we can also pitch, and stuff that I can maybe put on YouTube and use my Instagram audience to draw eyeballs to it, and then it might gain recognition. Because we're really, and the people that I'm speaking to, we're really on our stuff, right? We're really practicing, we're really on our craft, but we're not getting opportunities as often. So we're not going to sit on our butt and wait for the opportunities to come our way. We're going to kind of like actively go out there and get them. So that's why.
I love that. I think that's a good good attitude that connects well with just about all of the. So one of the things that it's kind of easy to focus on doing this program is, working professional actors, and, not Johnny Depp, right? But the everyday actors in the supporting roles, and the people that produce films that go on Netflix or go on Amazon, but most people never see. There's hundreds of millions of dollars of those kinds of films being made all the time in,
right.
At least tens of millions in California alone. So I've been talking with a lot of those folks that, like I said, are kind of they're working professionals. They really are. They make a good living. They work every day, but you're never going to know who they are. And all the support people, who did, oh, come on, I can't think of his name, but I just had a guy on the other day, and, he's like head of, the sound for like 3 current shows on the Paramount lot. Like, those are the kind of people that really are great to meet, because like you, they can talk about their piece of the craft, and that it's a craft. So even that film where, it's a 1 minute film for a Clubhouse thing, but you put everything into it, and
right.
You do that with everything you do, and that's how somebody gets lucky. And somebody will say, "Oh my gosh, he got so lucky because somebody saw that 1 minute film he was in, and the next thing he gets a role in a fancy movie. But the thing is, it's not luck. It's because you worked hard on that one and somebody saw it. Because if you hadn't worked hard and that famous producer had seen it, you'd have never gotten the role. So right. Busting your ass is, that motivation is really good to have. And I'm really, as to be a successful actor, I don't think you can be any other way, can you?
Actually, let me tell you something. Funny enough, you bring that up because one of the judges for that 1 minute film was the director Steven Bernstein, who worked with Aaron Paul and multiple huge actors. And right. I was with him about 2 weeks after, 2-3 weeks after. And I was, someone asked me a question. I was one of the moderators in the room, and someone asked me a question. He's Arabic too, and asked how did you get there and stuff like that? How did you get to the U.S.? And I was kind of answering him. So Steven unmuted. He had just spoken. He unmuted. I was like, hey, before we move on, I just want to ask Amr, do you speak Arabic? I'm like, yes, fluently. I actually responded. I was like, بتكلم عربي كويس, which is yes, I speak Arabic fluently. And he was like, oh, okay. I'm next year. We're gonna be casting this film. I forget if he's casting it from Egypt and then he's gonna shoot in Greece, or he's shooting it in Egypt. I forget. But he said that. I would like you to audition for it. No promises, but I promise you an audition and an opportunity. And that is huge. That is
that's Clubhouse.
Yeah, that's what. And he saw my work, right? And it's the butterfly effect. So because he saw it, I now have an opportunity that I'm gonna work my butt off to get into that audition and be 100% my best and give my best performance. So it leads to something. And another little story, I went to LA, right? I went to LA for a callback for a student web series. Okay. I booked a $700 ticket and I went to LA for a student web series. And everybody, my acting friends, my acting coach, everyone around me was like, you're absolutely out of your mind. Are you crazy? Nobody. But right. Again, I was making good money and I can afford it. And I have my own business. So I want to invest in this. Money is absolutely nothing right now compared to what it can bring me, right?
Sure.
It's not about the money. I'm not a millionaire by any means, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't go buy a Louis Vuitton belt, but I would spend $700.
Yeah, right. That's a better investment right there.
This is a $8 shirt. I don't go out and buy $250 shirts. If that's your thing, all power to you, but it's just not me, right? I invest where it's needed. That's why I save money. So when I need to drop $6,000 on a camera, I have it to do it, right? So anyways, I went to the web series. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Oh no.
I walked in and the guy was holding a camera, kind of shooting the actors, getting in the way, bumping the actor. I was like, what the hell's going on here? This. Do you know how to audition people? Are you filming right now? Is this the web series? No,
right.
But it was absolutely horrible. I politely finished the audition, and they were asking me questions about other actors. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? But anyways, I left there. But sorry, just close the door. But sorry, my brother just barged in and
no worries.
Startled me. No, but here's the thing, right? That I booked an Airbnb with a woman that knew an agent, an Arabic agent, and she's like, "Hey, you should go meet him. He might have something for you. He might, represent you." And sure enough, I did, and he's the one that got me the audition for the series regular for that hit Ramadan show that it was between.
Oh wow!
You see how the butterfly effect works?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, dude, look, I got. I've got connections with people that I would have. How would I possibly have met them any other way than through social media or Clubhouse? I'm never going to run into, this director or this producer or whatever, on Rodeo Drive. Because first of all, there'd be nothing for me. Why would I be on Rodeo Drive? Like, there'd be no reason for me to be there. And then if I bumped into this producer, we would sit down and talk long enough that then we'd exchange phone numbers, and become friends. Like, that's the power of networking and relationships, because everything in Hollywood, everything in Nashville for music, or, wherever you are, it's all about the relationships. You just said it right there, making the connections, meeting people, being in as many places as you can, and meeting as many people as you can, and knowing how to qualify the people that you need to talk to and the ones that you don't, quickly as you're doing your networking and getting to the right people. And
absolutely,
there are a lot of people that are in whatever profession they are. I don't want to focus on acting or anything, that are maybe mediocre at what they do, but they got the job because they relationshiped their way there. So, and it's the same way just about in any place. So if you're really good and devoted and you never go anywhere, for people, it's because they didn't know that you has to focus on the relationship. So actually, that's what I'm enjoying a lot about this episode of the show, because if there are some young actors or other actors kind of coming up, I think you're a wonderful example of what to do, how to do it, and the stick-to-itiveness and the sacrifices and everything, that if you really want to be an actor, because there's everybody, I'd like to be an actor someday, but those aren't, like, think of it this way. In America, we have baseball's a big deal, right?
Right.
But almost every baseball player on a professional team was likely a pitcher when they were like in Little League. And the reason is the kid that the pitcher is usually the best kid on the team. They can throw the hardest, they can throw the most accurate, they can run the fastest, and they can usually hit well. They're a superstar. That's who you make your pitcher. That's how it works. But then the whole league is full of pitchers. So the guy that's the actual pitcher is like the best of the best. And those are the folks that make it in Hollywood at the end of the day, whether it's the best of the best at relationship building and being a decent actor, or all of it. But you've got to make those connections and work your ass off. It doesn't come easy. And I think you're a really great example of how you can really put your mind to it and do the right things, and not expect that you can jump through any hoops, but you're going to have to, work your way through all of that. And I think you're doing a fantastic job at it. I don't want to be like in saying that I think you're doing great because I know something. I'm just impressed, with how you're doing it. So, yeah.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And it's something that you learn along the way, right? But I've been connecting on Clubhouse. Like, I've been literally 8 hours from yesterday. I hosted a room from 11 p.m. until 8 a.m.
Those are fun.
Insane. But let me tell you, I connected with an agent, a shark agent. I connected with a casting director. I connected with a producer. I connected with a very prominent actor. And I'm connected with a really, really beautiful actress that we're going to be working together. She's amazing in her work. And I say beautiful, her mind is just so focused, like me, if not even more, on her craft. And she just gets so excited like me. So when I find that energy, I'm like, you know what? The not sleeping was totally worth it. I made a gem.
Yeah.
You never know where that is going to take us. So, yeah.
No, you don't. I mean, I went to film school.
Yeah.
Ooh, probably. What am I? I don't even want to do the math, but it was so long ago. We actually shot on film, but sorry, that made me think of film school. We were what were you just talking about?
I was talking about connecting with 8 hours, 9 hours, not
sleeping. Oh, yeah. And that, just that energy of Clubhouse, meeting all those people, making those connections and following through on them, it's been really good for you. I think it's been anybody I think that I meet that is doing something like, I went to film school. Last screenplay I wrote was for film school. And I'm working on a short with somebody for another actor that, it's legit. It's not huge, but it's going to be a legit piece of work. And 4 months ago, I didn't even know anybody that I was talking to about it, and now we're trying to put something together. So, and that and a couple of other things. So yeah, it's an amazing kind of opportunity for people.
Absolutely. Yeah, Clubhouse is great. So, I think Nazim was asking, so Clubhouse is your favorite social media platform currently? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. So we were talking about everything social media yesterday. We were saying the room's title. 2 days in a row we did social media rooms, and both of them were fantastic. We had an amazing audience, amazing speakers. The topic of yesterday was TikTok versus Instagram, how to use both as an actor and how you can be an actor.
What were some of the reasons?
What, say again?
What were some of the reasons you guys came up with?
Well, so here's the thing. Instagram, I spoke from the Instagram perspective, and the that I'm talking about, she has over 700,000 followers on TikTok, and she spoke from the TikTok perspective. Yeah, I have 140,000 on Instagram, but
that's damn good. But 700,000 on TikTok. I hope she's making a little cash off of that.
Not as many as you think. I mean, it's hard to monetize on TikTok if you're.
Oh well, yeah, right. No, but be doing other things. But yes, no, I get that for sure.
But she has 10,000 followers on Instagram, which is great as well. But if I had 700,000 followers on Instagram, then that's
oh my gosh,
a real deal, because
that's massive. Yeah,
TikTok is a viral app, so people are expected to have a high amount of following. I have about 38K over there, which is nothing, but I'm still working my way up. I haven't been active on it, but I started being active on it. She does a very different TikTok she has a very different TikTok platform on hers, where she speaks to her audience. The other formats of TikTok is like silly dances, silly trends, but also there's acting challenges that any actor can do. It's like,
that's cool. I'm going to look that up on TikTok right now. That's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's like mouthing the words to a scene, and you actually get to duet the scene maybe with another actress. So let's say,
I've seen those. Yeah. Okay.
It's amazing, and the virality of it is insane. I'm not saying that you're get cast in a movie just because you did a TikTok, but hey, if you can draw one director's eyeball to you just because you did an acting challenge and they consider you to audition for something, then hey, you've won.
That's the thing too. And I think Clubhouse will probably change with the massive growth, but I think these little enclaves that we're in, I think these are going to survive, because I think they become essential. Because if you're trying to, from a casting director standpoint, and then Nazim, we'll answer your HAPS question in a second, because I know you've asked that a couple of times. If you're a casting director and you're waiting for people to come to you, right, just to come through the system, and they're coming to you, there's a finite of people that you can even see in a day. But if you've got people out there looking across these social media streams, people pop up all the time. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing here on this program. Is I'm finding people. Now you are up and coming, and that came through this system that I have of relationships. And I'm always looking for up and coming people who look like they're going to go further. So hopefully their appearance on my show might catch them a break. There's no promise. I'm not saying anybody fancy's going to be watching any night, but it's an opportunity. It's always a vehicle for my guest. Like, this show is for my guest. I hope the audience enjoys it. And I obviously need to have the kind of guests that the audience enjoys, right? So we get enough viewers to make this effective. But the idea of the guests being able to present themselves out there is, what this is all about. And if you're a casting director and you can sit in a room and talk to a bunch of people, hear them act, because I just spoke with the folks that are doing they just did a voiceover contest, and the person who won the voiceover contest, and this was run by some of the premier voiceover artists, right, in America, in the world, because this is what happens on Clubhouse, and they won a 6-month contract. Now, that person came out of nowhere, and had never had a chance to audition anything, but they've been working, to be a voiceover artist. That was their thing. And so from literally out of nowhere, she's got a contract. Sounds like she'll have that contract will easily be renewed. I think she's already getting work, but we're going to have her on the show too. That getting up and coming folks is just a powerful thing, because I really think it shows people that there's a path that you can work, and you can work hard. And for acting, it keeps coming back to it being a craft. You know what I mean? It's not a skill, because it's many, many things. So I think you're kicking ass in the craft, and hopefully somebody will see this at some point, and either it'll be like, oh yeah, oh wow, he was on here, but he's so huge now. Or sooner than that, somebody will see it and say, oh, I need to give that guy a role. So
no, I'd be happy to come back when I'm huge. So let's
dude, of course. That's exactly why I try to pick talented people, because then when they make it, I can be like, yoo-hoo, remember me? Come on my show, please. And that's and the mission. Yeah, and the mission behind that is really because we try to elevate people, like yourself in this way, but we also are trying to put people of color on the platform, doing things on the platform with journalism or whatever, and we're using the credibility we have of talking to these as we get closer to more A-list kind of stars, of having that impact of the more important the people are, then the people that we're wanting to really get seen will be seen more, because we have a bigger, audience. So I fully expect when you're a star to have you come back several times. So, let me ask you, as we're kind of wrapping this up, what do you think's going to happen with COVID and everything? Like, what are you feeling like? Because it seems to me, even from Chicago in the theater scene, the little bit I know about what's going on here, it's like roles are starting to come around. I mean, I think things are slowly starting to move, right? Is that what it's feeling like for you?
Yes and no. It's like crazy, because like when I told you, I've recently had 3 auditions. 2 of them were great. 1 of them not so much. 2 of them were like one for a series, one of them for the guest star. 1 of them was for a lead for a short series of a limited series that was going to be shooting in Mexico. I auditioned for that, and I shared that tape with some really, really good casting directors, and they loved it. So that's great. But and again, those casting directors are from Clubhouse, so it's and they're friends, right? So it's not like I'm sharing it online and everything. It's like I'm taking opinion, and they're giving me their honest feedback, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. So I was very happy with the tapes that I've done. I've got a callback for that one with Queen Latifah, and then like the other one, it was I think another co-star. At this point, I have 1 co-star, right? But I don't want to keep auditioning for co-stars, because I need a chance to be something bigger on the show. So I don't want to kind of like myself on the show. So if you audition for a co-star and you get it, you can't do the guest star, you can't do the series, you can't do the the recurring. So it's not like when I get the audition, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna audition for it. But I'm just saying that I would like to going out for guest stars and series regulars, which I am, which is great. So the percentage is more guests and series regulars than co-stars, which is amazing, and leads in shorts and features. But with that being said, I don't think I'm getting as many as I would like, right? Sometimes I'll go 2 months without an audition. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what can I do? I feel like, you're trapped in a cage, and you're like, oh my God, I'm just waiting for that audition. And that might lead to desperation when you actually get the audition, right?
Yeah, you don't want that. Got to stay out of your head.
Yeah, got really hard if your last audition has been a while since you've gotten it. So you got to kind of like ground yourself and take it easy and just like focus on it right now, and pretend that you don't want it, it wants you, and then kind of approach it from that standpoint.
Let's answer Nazim's question, because I know he's you already had a Haps account, right? So had you been on Haps before?
No, I just created it when I was Apple couldn't make it one day, I think.
Oh, got it. Because we had already were trying to do this. Exactly. So he's asking, what do you think of this format, this platform?
Right. Honestly, this is literally my first time, but it's great. It's kind of like Clubhouse, but just with video. So
yeah, and the people in the audience can actually communicate with you too.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, so I think it's really great. I'm definitely going to be more on it. I don't really know how it works in terms of like, like it doesn't have like an explore page where people can discover you or whatever. But
yeah, there's a discovery page and stuff like that, and we're kind of still in beta, so it's actually a cool place to be because it's kind of like the Wild West. You can kind of do a lot of different things on here right now, and like I said, there's a group in England that was doing this voiceover stuff, and I don't want to say too much, but there's just so many cross collaborations and opportunities. It's crazy. And do me a favor, send me your send me like whatever your packet you would send out, like a casting director or whatever you send out, send it to me, because when I meet people, that are cool and I really want to, help out, it's not just having you on the show. Like next time I, talk to somebody, and they're mentioning, hey, we're doing this, I'm like, oh, really? Okay, cool. I know we're just friends, but here's my friend. Take a look at him. So I'm always trying to, promote my newfound friends out here whenever I get a chance to talk to a casting director or a producer or anybody. I'm not going to just throw them somebody's picture because I'm doing it, but if it sounds like it would be a fit, I'm like, sure, I'm going to try and, pitch my friend in there. So yeah, send me kind of what you got like that. And if I hear something, smell something coming, I'll let you know too. So
for sure. Yeah. And by the way, Takara asked if I'm on my phone or computer. I'm on my phone right now. So actually, when you played the scene, I couldn't see it, but I can kind of.
Yeah. If you're on the computer, there's like let's see. Can I show you? Hold on. I think I can. Unless I just killed the phone. Hold on a second. There you go. Can you see it?
It's frozen. It's frozen for a second. Maybe.
Oh, it's frozen. Hang on. It's probably because, hold on. I'll reset the server since we're at the end of the show. Yeah, you might find something you can do on here. It's still frozen. It's still frozen on my side too. Well, we may end up that way. But anyway, oh wait, it's frozen on my it's frozen over here. Hang on. I can fix that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, without my interesting. I'm like, what is happening? Well, anyway, I'm here in one way, shape, or form. But yeah, there's a whole like a broadcast studio thing back here that it can do. So yeah, definitely try it on the laptop or the desktop at some point. Okay, so what is how long are you going to be in Miami? You going to stay there for a while since it's cheaper?
No, I think I'm going to go back to New York next week.
Oh, cool.
Projects that I might be working on. It's just that I need to be, I need to look at the script and see if it makes sense for me to do it. It's a short film that's free, but it does have potential. But there are some
you never
that I just don't like.
All those famous dudes today all had short films for the most part, and that's one of the nice advantages of having to put up sometimes with the struggles of a student film is maybe one of those folks on the crew will, remember you someday too. So it's a good little reciprocal kind of thing. But,
like right now it has to make sense for you. Like, I mean, honestly, right now I'm not actively pursuing student films. I do go on backstage.com sometimes and just like scroll through it and see if there's like a story that resonates with me that I feel like I can use it as footage. And then I look the website of the director and see what they've done, see the quality of their work. If everything matches, then okay, I'm cool. But if it's like something that is gonna be like a waste of my time, I'm not gonna do it right now at this point. So yeah, the one that I'm looking at right now, it's great, but I feel like there's a lot of gaps in the story that just don't fit, a lot of things that don't make sense. So I need to discuss that with the director, see if we can work something out. If we can't, unfortunately, I'll have to turn it down. But if we can, then maybe we can do something.
Well, dude, this was a blast, man. I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
Yeah, this was great. And well, you know how this works now. We're definitely going to stay in touch. But also, I'm thinking down the line, maybe we could do, once you get settled, maybe settled back in New York or something, we should do some kind of round table with your other acting friends and stuff that you've made connections with. And,
Yeah.
you know, let's talk about the, some of these things about acting that we've been talking about, because that's always fun for me. And it's always great to get different opinions on stuff. And I think people that watch the show, and I could see from, you know, Takara and Nazim, you know, people like that, you know, they like to know what happens behind the scenes with acting and stuff like that, I think. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy to come anytime on the show. And my group of friends, they're like-minded. They have the same drive, if not even more. So they'd be happy to be here, and we'd be happy to share. And you know, if you want to do like maybe one night about social media and how you can brand yourself.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, man. Because Nazim, when he said that, you know, what is my favorite social media platform? Of course, I love Haps because it's my base. But if I had to pick right now, I'd probably go with Instagram, because I only started my RevMacLive account like a month ago. And I mean, I literally have less than 300 followers, but every follower I've kind of catered in a way, you know, to kind of see me so that they'll like this. So I feel like I have 250 quality followers compared to my Twitter, where I have 21,000 followers, and most of them don't know me from Adam. You know, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that'd be a big one to talk about. And I just wanted to say, Amr, that you have a very giving character too, because you're always uplifting your friends and talking about them in great ways. So just, dude, you're just a fun, interesting guy. And it's fun to meet people like you in everyday life. But I'm really lucky to get to meet people like you and talk to you for an hour and share your struggles and what you've learned and talk about your craft and everything. So it was a big honor to get to meet you, man. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. Any chance for me to talk is amazing. I just love it.
Most actors, they're not hard to get on the show because they're like, oh, I can talk about myself in front of a camera for an hour. Oh yeah, I'm good.
we live, so I'm 100% on board. And I'm telling no lies. My friends are really, that's why I call them friends, right? Because I surround myself with people like that. So for sure.
Well, you lifted me up, man. I had a good time. I really appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. Hopefully, you know, whenever you're headed out, you know, look for some work. If you get some work in Chicago, look me up. And, you know, I'm planning on being out in LA within the next couple of years. And to stay, but, you know, hopefully I'll be popping out there soon too. So you never know, we might be able to run into each other, and it'd be great to meet you. And I'm hoping to do these interviews in person once the whole COVID thing is finally gone, you know, so we don't just have to do them in a Zoom meeting type of thing. So yeah, it'll be fun. And yeah, reach out to me, you know, anytime you need anything, man.
Of course. And like I said, I'm countrywide. So wherever you are, if you have a certain age,
I like it. He'll take a role anywhere. He'll shoot that film anywhere. I know they're casting for another Mad Max film in Australia, so you never know.
I mean, hey, if I get an opportunity, I'll be there. I don't care where.
Oh, I would too. That'd be great. All right, man. Well, listen, it was fantastic to meet you, and I'm sure we'll chat soon, and we'll see you in the movies, dude. This was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
All right, man. It was great. Great to meet you. All right, everybody. That was just a whole lot of fun. Ciao, says Nazim, and good night, y'all, says Takara. That was great. I did not know Amr at all, I don't think. And a lot of times, usually I meet somebody before, it seems like, for these interviews. And wow, just what a fantastic attitude, drive. I mean, the American spirit, it's all right there. That guy has got a great story because he is living that story. He's making that dream come true. You know, his parents didn't send him over here with a boatload of money to come to America and fulfill his dream. His parents sounded like they were educated and did well, and they taught him well. But this guy's on his own, and you know, at whatever level he gets to, I am just always super excited to meet folks like that. Nazim, you have a great day over there. I appreciate your loyalty to the program, sir, very much. Takara, it's so fun to see you again. I know my viewership has dropped a lot here in the last few weeks because I haven't been on much, but you know what? It's like the Instagram followers. What matters to me is the quality of the people that are watching, and if they're enjoying the show. And we'll get ourselves built back up there soon enough. We're not going away. We're expanding. We're looking to do some stuff in different places around the world, and we're getting close. So thank you, everybody. This is always my pleasure to hang out with all of you. And if you're watching this on replay, you can support me as a sponsor for $1, $5, $10 a month on my profile page. You can leave an award if you like. That's always a fun thing to do. And you can let corporate sponsors know that we do take sponsors. Oh, thanks, Nazim. And Scooch, make sure you talk to the folks at Scooch Case. Their Wingman case here that I've got for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Fantastic case. I think it's good for about a 10-foot drop, something like that. And it's just got some unique features. And really, you'd think I know how to use a camera, considering I was, a photographer. All right, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate all of you. Love to all of you. Peace be with you, and namaste.